Friends, death is such an inevitable reality that has never spared anyone till today. Allah Almighty Himself has said in the Holy Quran, "Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut," meaning every soul shall taste death. Every human being who comes into this world will definitely leave this mortal life one day. This decision has already been written in destiny, and this is also the greatest truth. And the heaviest and most painful moment in any person's life is the moment when someone very close, someone extremely dear, leaves him forever. But friends, the point to think about is that if a person dies, the funeral prayer is offered, he is also buried, meaning he is placed in the grave, and then suddenly he comes back to life again. What will happen then? Surely hearing this feels like a scene from some film or drama, but the truth is that many such incidents have actually happened in the world. And in today's video, we are going to tell you a similar astonishing true incident from Jannat ul-Baqi in Madina Sharif, which shocked those who heard it and strengthened the faith of those who believed. Friends, in Madina Sharif, a girl passed away and was then buried in Jannat ul-Baqi itself. But the very next day, that girl was taken out alive from the grave. But after coming out, the secret she revealed shocked everyone. And not only that, after hearing that secret, you too will scream and begin repenting before Allah while crying. That's why today's video is very special for all of you. Please watch it till the end and kindly share it so that this video reaches others as well. So come friends, let's begin. Friends, a dead girl buried in the graveyard of Jannat ul-Baqi in Madina Sharif came back to life exactly one day after her death and started calling for help. Seeing this, her family immediately had the grave opened again, and the girl came out alive from the grave. After coming out, the secret she revealed had never been told by anyone before. Friends, the matter was something like this. In the city of Madina, there was a girl named Rabia who had married out of love about 1 year ago to a boy named Parvez. Rabia was 3 months pregnant. One day she went out of her house for some work when suddenly she screamed and collapsed right there. As soon as Parvez heard Rabia's scream, he quickly ran out of the house. When he came outside and saw what had happened, Parvez was also shocked. He saw that Rabia had fallen on the ground and was writhing in pain. Before he could do anything for her, foam started coming out of her mouth and she became motionless, meaning she fainted. An ambulance was called immediately, and Rabia was taken to the hospital where the doctors confirmed her death, meaning the doctors said that Rabia had passed away. But the surprising thing was that no one could figure out the cause of Rabia's death. The doctors only said that she died because her heartbeat suddenly stopped. No snake or scorpion venom was found in her, nor could they find any other reason. Friends, Parvez also informed Rabia's parents about it, and upon hearing this, Rabia's parents were devastated by the sudden tragedy. They also reached the hospital immediately, where they cried their hearts out. Then that very night, Rabia was buried in Jannat ul-Baqi, meaning her funeral rites were completed. The next morning, Parvez went to the graveyard and began praying at his late wife's grave. At that moment, he started hearing tapping sounds from Rabia's grave. At first, Parvez thought it was just his imagination, but when he placed his hand on the grave and felt it, he became certain that someone was actually knocking from inside the grave. Seeing this, he quickly placed his ear on the grave, and muffled screams and sounds began coming from the grave. A voice was coming from the grave saying, "Take me out of the grave, I am alive." Seeing this, Parvez was shocked. Then he immediately called the graveyard caretaker and let him also hear the voice coming from inside the grave. The caretaker also confirmed that there really was someone alive inside the grave. Then Rabia's family and Parvez's family were informed and called to the graveyard. After that, the graveyard committee was contacted about this matter, and some TV channel reporters also reached the graveyard. Then, after taking everyone's permission, Rabia suffocation. She had just fainted. Medical help was immediately called, and then Rabia was taken to the hospital. Upon reaching the hospital, Parvez burst out at the doctors, who had declared Rabia dead. But this was also a surprising thing for the doctors. They too were thinking how something like this could happen. Then Rabia immediately started receiving medical attention, meaning her treatment began. The doctors, after examining Rabia, gave one possible reason for her death, saying perhaps she had suffered an attack of cataplexy, in which even after a person becomes unconscious, awareness remains in the body. Maybe because of this, she regained consciousness after going into the grave, and then she began trying to come out of the grave. Anyway, friends, after that, Rabia's treatment continued for 2 more days. After 2 days, Rabia became a little conscious. After that, whenever Rabia told her husband Parvez, after hearing it, the ground slipped from under the husband's feet. Rabia told her husband that inside the grave she had felt a very strong jerk, due to which her eyes opened inside the grave. Then, when she realized that she was buried inside the grave, she began screaming and shouting loudly, but no one came to help me there. Seeing this inside the grave itself, I began asking forgiveness for all my sins. And one night, which I have still never told you, and have always kept you in deception, came to my mind. That's why, inside the grave itself, I made this promise to Allah that if Allah takes me safely out from here, meaning out from this grave, then I will go outside and confess this sin of mine in front of everyone, and confess this unfaithfulness of mine. At that moment, my breath began to choke. So inside the grave, I started reciting ul-Baqi. Then as soon as I started reciting ul-Baqi, I began to breathe. And the strange thing was that when I would stop reciting ul-Baqi, I would start suffocating. Then when Parvez asked what the secret was, Rabia said, I have always kept you in deception. I have been unfaithful to you, and this child is not yours. Before marriage, I had an illicit relationship with one of my cousins. After marriage, I tried very hard not to meet him, but he forced me a lot, troubled me, so I was compelled to meet him, and then he used me. I would never have told anyone this, nor would I ever let you know anything about it. But having seen death, and having seen the loneliness and darkness of the grave, it is very terrifying. If you want, forgive me, and if you don't want to, then don't. But I will not force you, because I am guilty to you, and you have full right to either accept me now or leave me. This decision is now yours, but I ask you for forgiveness. I will spend the rest of my remaining life in repentance. With every breath, I will recite ul-Baqi, and besides this, I will do nothing else in life. Friends, hearing this truth from the mouth of his beloved wife broke Parvez's heart deeply, but he truly loved Rabia, so he forgave her. Then the next day, 10 days later, Rabia passed away again. Friends, in this world, there are very few such fortunate people to whom Allah has given the chance to repent. Rabia too became included among those blessed people who were given the opportunity to repent after death, so that she could confess her sin, confess her deception, and ask forgiveness from Allah and from her husband. And remember, Rabia perhaps received this chance because she had the habit of reciting ul-Baqi. What do you think regarding this? Do give your valuable opinion in the comment box. Friends, this incident has given all of us a great lesson that the world after death is not a story or fiction, but a reality. Allah gives time to whom He wills and takes away whom He wills without giving any chance. But now another news related to Jannat ul-Baqi has come forward. And believe me, if Rabia's incident surprised you, then the next matter is even more sensational and strange. Friends, now we are going to tell you a big and shocking news about Saudi King Mohammed bin Salman, and hearing it, you will definitely be stunned. It is being said that Mohammed bin Salman was caught red-handed doing such an act inside Jannat ul-Baqi that it is hard to believe. This matter is so serious that after knowing it, you too will be forced Mohammed bin Salman's team immediately had them deleted. That is why it is possible that this video of ours may also disappear from social media forever. Therefore, quickly watch this video till the end and share it immediately so that this black deed of Saudi King Mohammed bin Salman reaches people all over the world. Friends, all this began with a grave digger working in Jannat ul-Baqi, who every day dug graves and silently performed his duty there. But that grave digger one day witnessed such a scene in Jannat ul-Baqi that it shook him. The grave digger said that when I took charge of duty in Jannat ul-Baqi, after only a few days I began to feel that some strange and unusual things were happening in Jannat ul-Baqi. Because in the silence of the night, when the streets of Madina become quiet and peace settles over the walls of Jannat ul-Baqi, then a very big and luxurious car comes and stops here. Its doors open, and then the King of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, enters Jannat ul-Baqi, and then something happens that makes the ground slip from under my feet. Seeing this, the gravedigger thought that this is the same king who is one of the most protected and busiest personalities in the world. Why does he keep coming to Jannat ul-Baqi again and again at midnight? Thinking this, the gravedigger gathered courage and went to the guard standing at the main gate and asked him, "Brother, why does the Saudi prince come here again and again at midnight? What does he do here?" Upon this, the guard, avoiding eye contact, said, "You should not ask too many questions. Some things are better for you not to know." But this answer did not satisfy the gravedigger, so the next day he asked again, "Is any relative of the prince buried here? Does he come here to recite Fatiha? Because coming 4 times a month, that too at midnight, this thing is not digestible for the gravedigger." But this time the guard said in a harsh tone, "Look, brother, these are matters of big people. You just keep doing your work. If you get involved in these things, you will fall into big trouble." This answer made the gravedigger even more worried. Now a fear had settled in the heart of the gravedigger, and he began thinking, does Mohammed bin Salman really come to Jannat ul-Baqi for some secret purpose? Is there any secret hidden here which is invisible to normal eyes? Does a secret underground chamber really exist beneath Jannat ul-Baqi? Friends, this story does not end here. In fact, this is just the beginning. In the next few moments, you will find out what the gravedigger saw when he gathered courage and began watching Jannat ul-Baqi at night. And what he saw made his senses fly away. And not only this, when you learn about it, your hair will stand on end. Friends, the gravedigger said that night the moonlight had cast a veil of silence over the atmosphere of Madina. A feeling of fear was spread over the walls of Jannat ul-Baqi. But the gravedigger had been carrying this heavy secret in his heart for many days. At last, now he had made his decision. So in the silence of the night he hid behind thick trees. His heart was beating fast, and his whole body was drenched in sweat. But still his eyes remained fixed on the main gate of the graveyard. Then, as soon as the clock struck 12, the same black-colored car that had been coming here continuously for the past many days slowly came and stopped at the gate. And in the very next moment, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, came out of the car alone. The guards who had come with him took their positions outside the graveyard. After this, the prince looked around at the graveyard and then slowly began walking towards the farthest corner of the cemetery. The gravedigger saw that there was an old, ordinary broken grave, one that seemed like no one had visited it for years. The Saudi prince was walking towards that grave. Seeing this, the gravedigger's breath got stuck. Then in Jannat ul-Baqi, such a scene began which perhaps history itself may not have witnessed. The gravedigger saw that the Saudi prince himself began digging the soil of the grave. Seeing this, a storm rose in the heart of the gravedigger. He began thinking, what exactly is this Saudi prince doing? Who thought, when suddenly he felt as if someone had come and stood behind him. In panic, his whole body began trembling. His breath began to stop. He felt as if the guard had spotted him, and now he too would meet the same fate as the previous gravedigger. Yes, the same gravedigger who once tried to secretly watch at night. But the very next day, his dead body was found, so that others may take a lesson from it. Thinking only this, the gravedigger was drenched in sweat and began to feel his death coming near. But then, as soon as he turned around, he saw that behind him it was only a cat. Seeing this, his breathing eased, but his heart was still stuck on the prince who had descended into the grave. Then a few moments passed and the prince came out of the grave again. Now there was a strange kind of peace on his face, as if he had come out after doing some special work. Then he brushed the soil off his clothes and once again began looking around the graveyard. Seeing this, the gravedigger was very surprised that after being inside the grave for so long without oxygen, the prince was still completely fine. Seeing this, now the gravedigger lost his sleep. Then the next night, the Saudi prince came to the graveyard once again, but this time he had a black-colored bag in his hand. Today, without any hesitation, he went straight toward that grave and went down inside it. But tonight, fate did not support the gravedigger. The graveyard guard saw him from behind the trees and immediately came close to him and angrily said, "Aren't you ashamed? What are you secretly watching? If this reaches Mohammed bin Salman, do you know what will happen to you?" Hearing this, the gravedigger panicked. His hands and feet began to shake and he began begging, "Forgive me, I will never do such a thing again." After that, the guard gave him a final warning and strictly threw him out of the graveyard, saying, "If you are seen here again after today, your life will be your own responsibility." Now the gravedigger had indeed made a promise, but what was in his heart was such a big secret that keeping silent felt like a sin. So he went straight to the police station and told them all the details. But the police officer, laughing loudly, said, "Have you gone mad that you are talking such nonsense? Why are you accusing the Saudi prince? Are you in your senses?" After that, the gravedigger kept requesting that the grave be opened once to check. "If my words are proven wrong, then you may even cut off my head." But no one listened to him, except one journalist who was present in the station at that time. The journalist, trembling with emotion, said, "Remember, in Islam, justice is equal for everyone, whether king or slave. The beloved Prophet of Allah said that if my daughter Fatima also commits theft, I would cut off her hand. Then why not investigate this grave?" But the police were not ready to listen at all. Yet the journalist did not sit silently. He immediately uploaded the entire incident on social media, which within moments went viral and caused an uproar around the world. After that, the matter was investigated, and the investigation revealed that the grave was actually a secret underground chamber. Inside it, oxygen cylinders were kept, and small gold ingots were being stored there. In fact, this gold was being extracted from a particular mountain in Saudi Arabia and was being hidden from the government's eyes by choosing the graveyard as the place. Therefore, this work was being done in a very secret manner because, according to Saudi law, natural wealth cannot be owned by any single person. But as soon as this news went viral, the Saudi government immediately sprang into action. It not only deleted those videos from social media, but also declared the gravedigger and the journalist as liars and removed them from public attention. But now the question arises, from which mountain in Saudi Arabia was this gold being extracted? Is there really a secret underground chamber behind that grave? And are the royal family members truly the guardians of this treasure? All these questions are still wrapped in mystery. Now, friends, whether this incident is true or false, its knowledge is only and only with Allah Almighty. But one thing is certain, this news kept circulating on social media for many days. During this time, millions of people saw and heard this news. Some believed it to be true, while others considered it only a sensational story. Now, what is your opinion about this story? express your opinion in the comment box. So friends, that's all for today's video. We will meet you in the next video. Until then, Allah Hafiz.